I'm Dr. Lori Claypool, a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist in the Show Me State of Missouri. I would like to take a moment to congratulate those of you being inducted or honored by the class of 2025 Mason County Sports Hall of Fame. However, tonight I would like to focus my attention on one very special individual, Coach Jayne Reed. She was so much more than a coach. She was a very respected teacher, a compassionate and caring individual, a very strict disciplinarian, and a consummate mentor. She helped to forge the lives of many successful females, whether it be as a vocational career, as a nurse, as a business owner, as a teacher, as a coach, as a college professor, as a military personnel, or as a physician. I firmly believe that I would not be a doctor today if she had not had a hand in my life. I first met Coach in 1972. We moved to the Scottville area from downstate Michigan. I was in the 7th grade. 7th grade is a very difficult time for anybody, but especially for the new student who is rather large. It was more than this. My family lived in a pickup camper. We didn't have a home, we didn't have running water, and we utilized an outhouse. My mom went to the school and talked to Coach about this. Coach would let me out of PE early to go take a shower. Many times she was questioned about this by other students, and she would simply tell them it was none of their business. It was between her and I. I will never forget the compassion that was shown to me during a very difficult time in my life. It was also in the 7th grade in 1972 that many of us were first introduced to formal athletics. At this time, there weren't Little League teams or city basketball teams or soccer leagues. 1972 was when the passage of Title IX occurred. Prior to this, there really weren't athletics for women. Coach introduced it to us both in the physical education arena as well as by starting teams. It was in the same year that she became the coach for the JV basketball team. Coach instilled in many of us a love for athletics. It was at this time in my life that I was first introduced to basketball and fell absolutely in love with it. Coach instilled in many of her female athletes a drive to excel and to constantly better themselves. A recent former athlete of hers informed me that it was in the 7th grade in basketball that she learned that drugs and alcohol weren't for her, that she wanted to succeed and wanted to make Coach proud of her every day of her life. All of the student athletes that she coached went on to be high school graduates. That wasn't all that common in the 1970s especially. Many of them went on to vocational careers or went on to get college degrees or advanced college degrees. As a coach, she would often tell us that she was only hard on us because she cared for us, that she only disciplined us because she cared for us. Well, I can tell you from my point of view, I thought, and I was convinced that she must have really liked me because I got disciplined a lot. For Coach, it was an act of love. It certainly didn't make her rich. It required dealing with very difficult parents. It required working practice schedules around the boys' schedules. And she had to mold us into a team. She taught us that teamwork often required personal sacrifice, that we could never be in too good a physical condition, and that excuses were never allowed, and that whether we won or lost, we did it as a team. She also believed that you didn't run up the scores on other teams. In 1976, and here I must brag a moment, that was her first year of coaching, and that was the year she took us to state finals. That team still holds an average of 64.2 points per game, a record. A time at which there wasn't a three-point line, which Glenda Gruno would have killed, and a time at which we still used the bigger basketball. She was often known to bench her starters so that she didn't run up the score on other teams. She taught us that you never would deliberately humiliate another person or another team or another coach. A lesson that I hope many of us still practice yet today in our dealings with other individuals. In conclusion, thank you for the opportunity to honor Coach Jayne Reed tonight. She will never be Jayne to me. She will always be my respected coach, my honored friend, and my mentor.